Hey everyone, yeah, Justin Trudeau playing identity politics. That was his go-to strategy. That was his plan all along. Use that divide and conquer routine, and it does work, as we see. Pit everyone into little subcategories and tell them that one particular category is oppressing the other category, and watch how that unfolds. And we're seeing it worked out perfect for them in that regard. Because now you have people, and you're seeing it's happened down in the US or out in the UK. You realize that these people that are very much entrenched in politics and affecting the psychology, your thought leaders, your opinion makers, they know very well how to manipulate your mind. That divide and conquer routine, it's not something new, folks. It's been around a long time. And like I've said in many past videos, would you start that out at the very top? Well, now you're seeing how that's going to permeate through the entire system, through the entire structure, throughout the entire culture. Need proof? As if you don't already have enough? Well, here's some more. Headline out of CBC News under the Indigenous section, "We stand behind you 100%. Female First Nations leaders voice support for Jody Wilson-Raybould. Women at Union of BC Indian Chiefs meeting send message of support." It's being reported by Chantal Belrichard, February 28th, 2019. I mean, think about that. "We stand behind you 100%. Female First Nations leaders voice support." Why do you got to bring sex into it, right? I mean, I agree. I believe that Jody Wilson-Raybould, I believe her testimony was very accurate and very truthful. I believe that myself. I'm not going to point out the fact that, I believe her because she's a woman. I believe her because it seems like she has some credibility as a human being based on her own testimony and how that unfolded. But once again, why does this gender have to be brought into this? I guess you'd have to ask CBC that, because they're the organization, that's that crony or crown corporation that seems more than willing and constantly yearning to pit the sexes against each other. And they'll play that up every chance they get. What an environment it must be to work in that place. Female chiefs and First Nation leaders from across BC are voicing their support for former Justice Minister and Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould after her testimony before the House of Commons Justice Committee on Wednesday. On Thursday, a group of 21 women attending a Union of British Columbia Indians chief meeting in Vancouver, including elected and hereditary chiefs, gathered to send a collective message to Wilson-Raybould. A collective... What is with these people with their collectivism, man? Can you not just be an individual speaking for yourself? Do you really have to pretend that you're speaking for an entire group? Can't you just be an individual for once? "We stand behind you 100%, Jody. You are from here and you are part of us, and we fully support you, and I think what you did yesterday was brave," says Cheryl Casimir, a Nutaxa woman and member of the First Nations Summit executive. When she spoke, particularly her comment at the end about coming from a long line of matriarchs and that she was going to continue to be who she is, I think that's the statement that's going to go down in history. Matriarchs. So like I say, it's women, like it's a bunch of women in these First Nation communities that they want to be the rightful ruler. Yeah, bring down those men. I guess that's their thing. Like, yeah, we definitely want to bring the men because we want to be the new rulers. We want a matriarchy, not a patriarchy. But as far as I'm concerned, whether you get authoritarian mommy or authoritarian daddy, I mean, they're both authoritarian either way. So I don't want either. But apparently these ladies are all about, hey, female power, woman power, gender superiority, gender supremacy, right? But, that's not how it's being presented in this CBC article. No, it's being presented in this article as, "Oh, this is great. Look at it. Oh, this is awesome. All these women band together to hate on men." And I'm all with you, and I'm on board as far as going against Justin Trudeau or his fake male feminist counterparts. Yeah, I knew the minute that I saw Trudeau there that he's the biggest faker you've ever seen. Feminist might, right? But I mean, once again, why does the sex or why does the gender have to be brought into this? Does politics always have to degrade and degenerate into pitting sexes or races against each other? Well, apparently it does for those who promote collectivism. As for those of us who respect individual rights and respect the autonomy and the sovereignty of the individual, no, we don't do that. I'll point particular individuals out for their bad acts or for their bad deeds. I don't try to throw an entire, race or sex or religion or age group under the bus just for the sake of doing so. The onus is always on those of us that put ourselves out there publicly and talk about this stuff. The onus is always on us to give the proper information. Do those disclaimers, offer the caveats, and say, maybe there is some generalized statements that we may be able to use, but always say, but there are always exceptions. If you give people proper information, they'll absorb it in a more nuanced and proper manner. But if you're constantly giving these low grade, this low resolution, as Jordan Peterson says, narratives, well, yeah, to me, that's that race to the lowest common denominator. That's the race to the bottom. And I'll tell you, I don't want nothing to do with participating on that race to the bottom. And looking down, it looks like it's getting quite crowded down there, to be honest with you. I prefer to stay above ground. Anyways, I'll post a link to this article in the description of the video below. But I mean, come on. Why do they think that you got to turn this into this pitting the sexes against each other or showing solidarity just because she's a woman? Can't you just be respectful and applaud and praise the fact that she did the right thing as far as ethics or morality in regards to this particular incident or how this story's unfold? Why do you got to bring gender in it? I don't know. You're not actually adding anything to the equation by doing this, well, other than furthering the division between the sexes. But I guess your virtue signaling or your pretense of, this concept of creating a new modern matriarchy, I guess all that fogs your thinking and clouds your vision in regards to the fact that, hey, guess what? Men and women, yeah, we seem to still have to get along. This little thing we have to do, it's called procreate. So I think for a little while longer, we're going to have to figure out a way where we can come together instead of constantly being divided or pushed further apart. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.